Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another video where we are reviewing home gym equipment. Last time we talked about kettlebells and how those broke down for whether it's worth you buying them for your home gym. Today we're going to be talking about resistance bands. And just as a quick review, we're going to go over 4 different categories and rate the equipment based on those 4 categories. First is price, second is versatility, third is how good they are for training strength, and fourth is how good they are for training power or athletic performance. As always, make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you get all of this content. Be informed about where you're putting your money as you're investing in your home gym, as you're investing in your fitness and your athletic goals. Today we're going to be talking about these guys here, resistance bands. Now, they come in all shapes and sizes, thickness and length, so we'll be breaking that all down for you. The first category that we're going to be talking about with resistance bands is price. And for price, these are easily 5 stars. And the reason I say that is because you pay $20, $25, and you got a full set of these. So the set I got is from Amazon. For that set, I probably paid about $25. And what I got, this is the skinniest band that I got here. Great for resisted jumps, plyometric work, resisted weight training, things like that. The thickest band here really doesn't have a lot of give to it. There's a lot of tension. This could be good for strength training, for full body work using this band. And there are 4 bands total that came with this set. There are 2 in the middle that are in between the 2 that I showed you on the extreme ends of the resistance and the tension that you get. What you also get are some accessories, such as this handle that you use the carabiner to clip onto the resistance band so that you can pulls, rows, presses, things like that, just like you would on a cable machine. You also get this, which is a door stop. What you do is you put this behind the door, close the door. It creates a fulcrum for your resistance bands as you're doing different workouts. So what you get at the end of the day are 4 different levels of tension, 4 levels of resistance, a bunch of ways to maximize those, and these different accessories that come with it that help you fully equip your home gym for different kinds of workouts. So absolutely, this is a great way to maximize the money that you invest into your home gym. 5 stars easily. Moving on to versatility. Now, I talk about versatility and I would give resistance bands 4 stars here. And the reason I do 4 stars instead of 5 is because these really can do a whole bunch of things. They're great for beginners. You can do a bunch of basic strength moves with resistance bands. You can talk about squats using a light resistance band, the resistance bands to assist on pull-ups. You can do deadlifts with them, a bunch of different moves that are great for beginners that can either help add a little bit of resistance or even add a little bit of assistance if you are working your way back from injury or just aren't ready to add extra weight or you're struggling to control your own body weight. They're also versatile in that they're good for advanced training, but not in the same way that you just progress from doing light squats with a resistance band to heavy squat with a resistance band. Where it gets advanced is that you can actually do a lot of plyometric work, which are advanced exercises training your jumping and explosive ability with these resistance bands. So the reason I took off 1 star for the versatility is that it's not a natural progression from, oh, I'm just going to use heavier and heavier resistance bands for the same exercises, but it's actually meeting 2 different kinds of training populations, beginners or people working their way back from injury, and athletes who are looking to develop power or explosiveness, 2 different families of exercises that these bands are good for. So one thing that I'll say is that one drawback of the resistance bands is that a lot of times you need some kind of anchor point. And I showed you the door anchor that came with my kit. But if you happen to not have that, or you don't have a door that's conveniently placed, like in my garage, the door leads out to a bunch of steps. I'm not going to be doing a bunch of exercises just on the top step. So if you don't have a platform there or something like that, or a flat surface to work on, that can be a bit of a drawback and can be very inconvenient if your space doesn't quite work to anchor off of something. Now, I'm really lucky because I have my squat rack and I can just loop the resistance band around the pull-up bar or around the arms of the squat rack, but not everyone's going to have that readily available. As we talk about versatility, one thing does need to be stated, that someone has been really innovative and decided to create what's called the X3 system, which is basically a heavy resistance band with a short metal bar that attaches to it, and then a platform that the resistance band loops under. So you stand on the platform, the resistance band is under there so it doesn't snap up on you. And you can do all manner of exercises, upper body, lower body, core, and you get a full body workout in a very efficient amount of time. I don't know how much the X3 system costs, but I had a chance to test drive it with my brother when I was over at his house, and it's definitely a tough workout. So that bears checking out if you're looking for more of the strength training component from your resistance bands. So for strength, I gave resistance bands 2 stars. The reason I did that is because you really do hit a ceiling on how much resistance you can really have there. There are diminishing returns as you get, like, you can only have a resistance band that's so thick before it starts becoming impractical to use. And so again, you're not getting that pure strength where you would just be lifting heavier and heavier. You would eventually hit a cap, and that would happen a lot sooner than with other pieces of equipment. One advantage to resistance bands when it comes to strength training is that as you stretch them, they get tighter and tighter. And what happens is that you actually have to work harder at the end of your range of motion. Usually when we talk about traditional lifting, you have momentum. So think of a squat. The hardest work that you do is at the bottom of your squat when you're trying to press up, and momentum takes over as you get higher off the ground. When you add resistance bands to the equation, that's actually, the resistance on you is actually tightening as you get further away, and you have to continue to work, and you can't rely as much on momentum as you get to the full range of motion. So that is one strength training advantage that resistance bands have, that you have to work throughout the entire range of motion. So again, just because I rate resistance bands as 2 stars doesn't mean this is a bad piece of equipment. It's just that we need to evaluate our own goals to see whether resistance bands fit for what I'm trying to do with my home gym or with my workout program. So when it comes to training power, I gave resistance bands 4 stars, and I'll break down the reason why here. So I'll say that resistance bands are absolutely great for training athletic ability. So we talk about plyometrics. You can get resisted jumps, like when you're creating something like a Vertimax in your own system, or you can get assisted jumps. You can anchor the band to something and then use that elasticity to pop you up. And so what happens with those resisted jumps, you have to generate more force to get off the ground. And so you have to fight against that resistance. As it's pulling you down, you're pushing up against it. So you work on generating force quicker, getting off the ground quicker, and overall building that explosiveness. With assisted jumps, you're actually getting a lift, as it were, from the resistance band. So you are over speed training. You are training your muscles, or your neurons, I guess, to fire a lot more rapidly than you would otherwise be able to simulate without those resistance bands. And so they get used to sending those signals faster, getting your muscles to fire quicker, and being more reactive. Again, all of these exercises, especially when we're talking about the plyos and the power moves, are pretty advanced, and it would be worth it to talk to a trainer or a physical therapist, someone who really knows the biomechanics and the physiology behind all of this before you start adding this stuff just into your training program. And the only reason I took off 1 star from the power category is because if you just have a set of resistance bands, you don't have the full potential of that plyometric training. That really gets unlocked when you combine resistance bands with other pieces of strength equipment. For example, if you have resisted deadlifts or resisted squats, or if you're able to have that squat rack where you can tie off the resistance band to get that assisted jump, or have the arms on your squat rack to be able to create a Vertimax out of your training space. resistance bands are an invaluable addition to your home gym. Again, it is a little more niche depending on what you're trying to achieve. It can be great for general fitness, but it really supercharges workouts for athletes when you combine it with other strength equipment. It's a great investment and can really be a tool that you use every workout. Or if it just doesn't fit what you're doing, it could just be something that sits and gathers dust in the corner. I'll say for myself, I've been doing plyo programs and vertical jump programs for the past couple of years. Once I got resistance bands, they were in every single workout. There was always a use for them, whether it was doing upper body strength or lower body explosiveness, reactivity, training acceleration. All of those things can benefit from adding resistance bands to the equation. And I will say I'm not sure about this, but adding those resistance bands to my strength training are part of the reason why I can still jump and run and cut and accelerate and decelerate the way I'm able to, even at a relatively advanced age athletically. Guys, thanks so much for checking out this video. Again, we already reviewed kettlebells. Go ahead and check out that video as well. We're going to go through other pieces of equipment that go in a home gym. So check those out as they come out. Again, make sure you like and subscribe so you're keeping up to date and you have all the information that you need to make an informed decision about what you're spending your money on, what your fitness goals match up with in terms of equipment for your home gym. Catch you all next time.